Hi, welcome. Wow, this is so amazing and flattering. My name is Sean Schemmel. I'm best known as the voice of Goku, King Kai, on Dragon Ball Z.
I'm Chris. I play Vegeta, Piccolo, Yamcha, Mr. Popo, Kame, all the dragons, Gosmiz, Raccoon, Jace, Birder. Actually, I worked in-house at Funimation, so I got to do all those voices, I think mostly because I was an inexpensive option for them, because I was working on salary making, nothing to do this, so.
Fundamentally, Dragon Ball Z has been and remains to be a dub, and for this kind of attention for the dub, especially the kind of turnout we had for Resurrection F, you guys owe yourselves a round of applause for being the fans that you are. Because a lot of other dubs do not get this kind of love. You guys are competing with the regular mainstream American cartoons, which is awesome. It just shows that clearly we're doing something right, but you guys are doing something right, so thank you about that. I appreciate that.
And let me get this out of the way right up front. Let me just be the first to tell you, I'm very proud to announce that Super is released in Japanese.
It is currently not in English.
Currently not in English, but we're really, really hoping we get to dub that soon. We've often said that if for some reason we don't get to dub it, we will probably just murder the people who do and then
dub it ourselves.
Dub it ourselves, yeah. And then we'll be doing live podcasts from prison where we just keep reciting lines from Super and they can never stop us. And then they put us in solitary confinement and we just scream.
I'm just thinking of all the other horrors that we'll either be protected from or be a part of, depending on whether or not they like Dragon Ball.
Are you kidding? Everyone in prison loves Dragon Ball.
That's true.
We'll be heroes, seriously. We'll be well protected.
Well protected in prison.
This guy's Vegeta, and they're like, he doesn't look like Vegeta.
Be my Vegeta bitch. So, well, we can say that, holding out for the dub, because I know Funimation's working hard to make sure that happens, and they're still doing their thing. We appreciate that, and sending that link, the dub support to Toei and Funimation is helpful. So we appreciate that a lot.
We really do. Thank you all for waiting. I know that many of you have probably been tempted to watch the Japanese version, as I have, actually.
I had to watch a little bit of it first too.
I was trying to hold off, because I'm like, we're going to be dubbing this soon, and then finally I'm like, okay, I've just got to watch some of this in Japanese. But don't spoil it too much for yourselves, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do something.
Yeah, it's got.
I got this feeling. I don't know what it is.
Just a feeling in my back of my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for that.
The only karate I have studied is the Karate Kids, parts 1 and 2. I was obsessed with those two movies, and I saw the guy who played Johnny at another convention, and I walked into the bathroom, and the bathroom had this sign on the side that said, "Special men's bathroom," and it was, I don't know why they put special men's, I remember telling you about this.
An extra long.
And so when I walked in, I walked into the bathroom and I saw some dude at the mirror, washing his hands. I go, "This bathroom's for special men's," and he goes, "I guess so." And then just as I passed him, I realized, that's Johnny from Karate Kid. Okay, sweet, then I couldn't pee. A lot of people come up like, does Dragon Ball make you want to work out as much as it makes me want to work out? And I go, it makes me want to take a nap for about 2 weeks. Because try screaming for 4 or 5 hours. Back in the early days, 9, 10 hours a day.
Oh yeah, we do it crazy.
And you just don't even want to move after that.
Yeah,
Gohan's always a great character, but he was never one of my favorite characters because I always liked Vegeta, so I really didn't care about Gohan. Sorry, no offense.
And I didn't care about Gohan because he was a constant disappointment. And I wanted him to be a fighter, but my bitchy wife made him study. You were saying, Chris? I did. I changed it for all 3, but it's very subtle for the first 2, kind of. But it was. Well, here's the problem. Super Saiyan 3 is kind of like. And this is called a Super Saiyan 3. It's kind of down here, just kind of chill. And when I do it in the booth, it's actually really quiet. Whereas the Goku one's up here, and I'm on crack. And I feel like Judge Reinhold, or on meth or something. I tell the joke at every panel, but it still works. And the Super Saiyan 3 is just, I realized that there's only so high and loud I can scream, and that he's channeling so much energy, and he had the lack of eyebrows as if he had chemotherapy or something. No offense to anyone who's having chemotherapy.
That just means you were Saiyan. But.
Yeah, so, and so I wanted to make it cooler and more chilled because there was only, there's a lot of reasons I couldn't do it. So.
Except, here's an inside joke that Sean hasn't heard about yet.
Oh, great.
Sorry. It's not really directed towards you, but
that's okay.
The way he does his Super Saiyan 3, like he goes, "This is Super Saiyan 3." And, he likes to make it super intense. So when we were recording all of the extra voices, you know how you could choose custom characters in Xenoverse 2? When he gets to the Super Saiyan 3 mode, every single person who has to copy that mode, because if you play any custom character, they have to read every single attack.
Oh, yeah.
So when they get to that one, I had every single person go, "This is Super Saiyan 3." So no matter what they sound like, I make them sound like really super intense, almost like jokingly so.
Oh, awesome! I got to play the game now.
Yeah, well, you will.
I played it a bit, but I have is it Xenoverse 2 or
yeah, Xenoverse 2.
2. I haven't played that one yet. No, I haven't got my free copy.
Electric.
Yeah, Xenoverse 2.
Mine was Ghost in the Shell. Was the first
might
time
have.
I saw it.
I don't remember. Probably Voltron.
What's your favorite anime now?
One Punch Man, probably.
My favorite anime right now, so many of them. I like My Hero Academia. It's probably, it's really an amazing show.
My favorite arc is really just the whole length of the Goku Vegeta relationship, which kind of spans all of Dragon Ball Z. So, because you try to pick favorite arcs, some days you like Boo, some days you like Cell, and then you're like, I can't make it. And then once that Majin business finally came to a head, I was like, this is, I think, the coolest part of Dragon Ball for me.
Yeah, I always thought the series peaked at the Majin Vegeta stuff with the fight between Vegeta and Goku. It's what everyone was waiting for anyway. And I'll say what Sean has said on many panels too. I think the best work that we have done is easily the movies, the 2 movies that were just released, Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. It was so amazing to work on those because we've been dying to work on something new. Every time they release a new video game, maybe they give us a little bit of extra stuff, but we haven't had really new, beautiful animation content in a long time.
17, 18 years.
So it was so nice to bring these guys in who've been rehearsing these voices for so many years to then finally get to work on something brand new, and it just looked and sounded beautiful. We were really proud of that work. So the Team 4-Star guys are really cool. They live in Dallas. They've been working on the show for a long time. I can understand Sean.
I get a little
frustrating.
I'm too close to the show, so I'm like, that's great. They work on that show. I work on this one. I don't. Chris is a little more comfortable with it, and I think they do a great job. But I don't pay attention to it because I think I'm too.
Well, we get asked a lot.
We get asked also incessantly. And so it's like, I didn't fly 1,500 miles to talk about somebody else's show, but thank you. Because we're here to, I'm here to talk about the work and stuff, but I think they do funny shit, and it's good stuff, but it's not something I focus on. But sorry, maybe when it's all over, I'll go back and watch it. Chris watches it. It affects me too much, so that's kind of weird.
I only really started watching because the first time I ever saw it, I was so impressed by his impersonations of me that I was shocked. I was like, I now have plans to kill Lonnie because his voice sounds too much like mine and he could replace me, and so I've been poisoning him slowly over the years. I wanted to say my favorite thing that I own of Dragon Ball memorabilia, there's 2 things. One of them, it used to be this one thing, it's an action figure of dead Yamcha. Like, have you guys seen that? It's like Yamcha laying on his side in the crater. It's my favorite action figure because it's brilliant. It really summarizes his character. Do we ever get jealous of any other animes? No, because we're Dragon Ball.
I think it's weird because that was my first audition, and so I've been waiting to get a role that's cooler than playing Goku, and the only thing that's come close is playing Batman in The Dark Knight Rises on the iPad, which is not even one of the big games. I'm like, that's close. I mean, I've had some good roles, but you get one of the best roles in animation history on your first time out. It's pretty hard to top that. It was very, very, very exciting. I didn't realize it until many years later. What about you, Chris? Do you get jealous of any other?
No, I don't. I don't get jealous of other animes. That's it. what's awesome is that everyone used to say, oh, if you had and I'm sorry if I spoil your question, if you had one wish from the Dragon Balls, what would it be? I'm seeing how many people's hands go down. And it always used to be more episodes of Dragon Ball, but it seems like we're getting that, which is amazing. Like, my dreams came true.
Totally.
It's awesome.
I've done about 100 different characters over the last 17 years, and I don't know if I can remember 10 of
All of them, Sean.
Goku, Genkai, no. There's 3 right there, and there.
There you go. Sean has done just a limitless amount of voices, and I always feel weird when people ask me, like, you played so many characters in Dragon Ball Z. Like, let me make it very clear that I do not feel like I did a better job playing those characters than other people could have. I literally was there because it was a necessity. We had very few voice actors, even on the Funimation actor role, when we first started working on it, because Funimation was a poor company, they didn't have a lot of money. That's the excuse I give them. And the guy who played Korin and Berter, he had to leave on a comedy tour, so that's where I got, that's why I inherited the voice of Korin and Berta from him. And the guy, so that's kind of where I got a lot of voices. So there's like Yamcha, and he's like the coolest character in Dragon Ball, of course, obviously. There's Piccolo, who all he does is tell Gohan what to do. And Vegeta, he's the angry one with hemorrhoids. There's Raccoon, and I make him dumber every game that we do. Finally got to the point where someone was like, dude, I think he's getting offensive. Like, alright, I'll change him a little bit. I'm playing Jice, who's basically Yamcha with an accent, and then it kind of dithers off from there. And then the dragons, which is just, I get to thank the computer because they just pitch my voice down, and that's about it. So it sounds like this: your wish has been granted. Pretty boring. I got into Funimation because I knew somebody whose job it was to rotoscope episodes where they basically would go frame by frame to take out stuff that you weren't supposed to see on television, like Master Roshi's beer cup became like grape juice, and what was it, HFIL instead of hell and stuff like that. I knew that person that was doing that. I always used to joke about how I wanted to see all the footage they cut. And she said, hey, we're having auditions, you do voices, right? And I went up, got the audition, and a month later they said, would you like to be the voice of Yamcha? And then, would you like to come in and help us cast and direct the Dragon Ball series? And that's what happened. And then I put in a bunch of ads in the paper and went to put up flyers everywhere. I canvassed all of Dallas-Fort Worth to have the biggest auditions we could possibly do to try and find the cast of Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, all those people. Right. And that's where we met Sean.
And I answered an ad, one of those ads in the paper, and my friends, actually a friend of mine saw it and pressured me to do it, and I was like, no thank you, I'll be a French horn teacher. Because that's what I was doing. I'm playing in orchestras, but I had done voices my whole life and had been enamored of voice actors my whole life and never thought of it as a career. And then I went in and auditioned and was very disappointed when I got the role of Goku because I thought my Captain Ginyu audition slayed.
He seriously was on the phone going, yeah. Are you sure I'm going to play Goku?
I called Chris, I didn't know him, he was not my friend at the time. And I said, because I didn't know the cast, so I figured Captain Ginyu was like a really cool character, and Goku didn't have any cool, he wasn't a cool alien, he just a regular dude with spiky hair. I didn't give a shit, and he does voice isn't that much different than me, and so I thought it was really fun to change my voice radically, but Goku's very close to my natural speaking. Well, no, I enjoy playing Goku, although, Trunks or Vegeta or Piccolo are characters I really enjoy. I would love to have played Bubbles, but I can't do that part. Chris does Bubbles.
Sorry.
I don't have that kind of voice. But I like all the weird ancillary characters. Every time we do those scenes, I just love it. Bubbles, baby.
Guys, thank you so much. This has been, you guys were wonderful.